Welcome back to the Psychic Next Door. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to tune in, as well as for your overwhelming support for subscribing, liking, and even commenting on my videos. I am truly grateful for you. My goal today and always is to provide you clarity and peace through these spirit-driven messages. Remember, these are just general readings, not one-to-one, so if it doesn't resonate, just leave it behind. This reading was created for our beautiful Aquarius friends for the month of August. However, it is a timeless reading and it can resonate at any given period. All right, now, as we shuffle the cards, let's dive into a bit of the astrology that could help better guide you throughout this month. This month is a period for unwinding and some self-care, especially in efforts to offset the influence of Mercury retrograde. Mercury is known as the communication planet, so throughout this period you may see some travel delays, communication difficulties, and even some communication coming through from an ex. Practicing patience during this period is going to be key. Rather than overloading yourself with things to do this month, take a more manageable approach to what needs to be handled. This is a period where momentum on projects, decisions that are pending, tend to come to a bit of a standstill or a bottleneck type situation. But fear not, my friends. As of August 28th, Mercury retrograde comes to an end, and you'll see more of a reset to factory settings. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and dive into your reading. Now, as you guys can see, the setup has taken a bit of a shift, and so have the readings. The first, I want to take you through how this is going to work. We're going to draw a couple of Moonology cards, oracle cards. Then we're going to use the tarot for clarification. And then at the end, we're going to draw a special spirit animal oracle card just for you. So make sure to stay tuned. All right. The first card that came through for you all in this reading is Break Through the Tension. The second one is Step Into Your Power. And the third is Attune to the Divine. So the first thing they're sharing with me, that you're not able to attune to the divine right now. Your intuition isn't really firing on all cylinders right now because of all the responsibility and stress and difficulties that you've had on your plate. So when you're trying to connect to your intuition to kind of find the best next step of what to take, you're kind of almost in that Mercury retrograde bottleneck situation. You're not really getting a clear defining answer, and not an answer that's really helping you, okay? So we're going to set these up how Spirit wants to talk through them. So the first steps that they're sharing with me is that you have to break through the tension, okay? You kind of have to, they're showing me an individual in a room who has basically things everywhere. And perhaps some of you are cleaning out your closets and cleaning out your home. But for others, this is more metaphorically speaking, okay? There's a lot in your life that perhaps you need to go through. You need to kind of take step by step. You need to handle things that perhaps you haven't had time to handle because you've been so overwhelmed with the day-to-day. And it's time to kind of face, excuse me. It's time to, this is a period where you kind of start facing the realities of certain things in your life, okay? Perhaps there is, and these are some examples that Spirit is sharing with me, perhaps there are some relationships that you've just kind of been going through the day-to-day, kind of just getting through it because you really don't have time to deal with much right now. And it's kind of coming to a head. You're really feeling overwhelmed. You know that there are things that need to be handled that haven't been handled or worked through some difficulties you've had, perhaps with relationships, partners, friendships, even business associates, that you're just trying to keep the peace, if you will. Now, we drew the Hierophant, the Ace of Cups, the Ten of Swords, Page of Wands, and Four of Wands. So immediately speaking, the energy that depicts really what you're going through at this time is your Ten of Wands, or excuse me, your Ten of Swords. For many of you, this has been the ongoing energy that you have been feeling and going through for a good part of 2024. And as this picture shows, and it's a perfect reflection of the message that Spirit is providing us, you're beat. You know, you have just been beat down. You're tired. Perhaps you haven't had the opportunity to take some time off, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, whether you work out of the house, whether you work remote from home. Whatever the case may be, you've had too much to handle and very, very little time to yourself. The first steps in kind of removing some of these layers of stress and being able to manage some of the tension that's been coming your way, okay? Because Spirit absolutely is trying to highlight this yet again, the breakthrough, the tension. For you to get to the next part of your life that you're meant to be in, the next steps. Perhaps some of you, they're showing me a few individuals that are wanting to take the next step in their career. They've had their eye on a couple opportunities, but they're not really feeling it. They don't know if this is the right time because they're already overwhelmed. So taking on more and adding more to their plate just doesn't seem possible. And you're absolutely right. You have to get rid of what no longer serves you. You have to work through the difficulties. They're also sharing with me that perhaps in your home life or even in your workplace, we need to do a little bit more delegating. I know oftentimes it's easier just to get it done than to teach someone, but understand that you taking the time, let's say, to have a child or a teenager or someone living with you, teach them how to handle some of the responsibilities in the household and kind of guiding them through those steps for a while will eventually alleviate you from having to do it, and it frees up more of your time, okay? The Hierophant is exactly that. They're wanting you to be an educator, okay? They're wanting you to educate folks around you. They're showing me a vision of someone at their place of business. And kind of taking on a bit of they're showing me the word mentor. Taking a bit of the mentor role, okay? Perhaps you have some folks that report to you, that work with you, that are kind of green. And for those of you that don't know what that means, it just means they're new, and perhaps they're new to the industry, new to the department, new to the role. So they really need some guidance. But understand, you putting the effort into these people now will only save you and help you long term. And I know it's hard to see when you have all these fires and things on your plate. You just want to get it done and get it out of the way. But long term, that's not going to sustain you. Okay, so it looks like you're going to be working on this for a bit. And it looks like a lot of positive momentum in regards to this situation. They are highlighting the month September for me in bold, which tells me that perhaps by the end of September, you'll have some of this sorted out, okay? This is you really stepping into your power, okay? It's important to utilize the individuals around you, okay, to lift you up rather than have them kind of drag you down, okay? And I know that's a very vague message, but Spirit wanted to make sure that I said that because some of you really needed to hear that. Stepping also into your power, you're going to realize during this, for some of you, that this mentor role that you're taking, you're actually really enjoying it. You're actually really enjoying mentoring, guiding, and leveling others up with you, around you. And in doing so, for some of the collective, this is going to open a totally different opportunity for you. So perhaps Some examples that they're showing me that your current path or your current job, your role, right? This may take you on to the next level. Perhaps there are going to be positions that at your workplace that kind of level you up, is what they're showing me. Also, in regards to the home and you creating this mentorship space, you're going to realize you're going to find things that you're really good at, okay? Perhaps you really connect with a certain group of people, okay? For some of you, it's showing me, for a small few of you, it's showing me that you are going to consider working with other individuals, mainly kids or teens in this mentorship role. They're showing me the words nonprofit. So it looks as though the beginning of this really flourishes into something very new for you and exciting, rather than kind of what you've been going through so far. In doing this process, in learning about yourself, your intuition is going to start firing on all cylinders as this progresses, okay? Because it's almost like you're becoming another layer of yourself, a layer that you didn't even know existed, which is pretty incredible, okay? And the Ace of Cups is depicting for you all in this reading of an individual who is now transforming themselves, and they're showing me a pie chart, okay? And so they're showing me a pie chart over here and one over here. The one over here is completely off balance. It's like 75% work, 2% self-care, and so on, right? So the pie chart is not balanced. Over here, as you go through this stage, and now they're showing me end of September into October, your overall energy, your overall, let's say, pie chart, it's going to be a lot more even. You're going to be having ideas and thoughts come to you that you never had before, because number one, you're open to them. Number two, you have the ability to receive them because you have time and energy, and you've made some time for yourself as well through all this, okay? So you are so much more open than you were, let's say, this month or the previous months. This, your Four of Wands, and this could, for some of you, be in relation to a love relationship, where the difficulties were struggles and you started working on your relationship and you started better communication and so on, and it leads to a much happier household type situation. But this is also showing me, or wanting to focus on your inner self. This is showing me a very different person than started over here. So we got a 10 of Wands, right? And you're like on your last breath. That's metaphorically speaking, okay? You're just in a very different place over here. By the time we see October, now November as well for some of you, your internal health is like nothing like it was when this whole journey began, okay? And you're going to look back on it and just you're really going to be proud of yourself, because this, you know for a fact that it was a lot of hard work going through all this to get to this place. Now, Spirit is sharing with me that for some of you it will not take till September, October, okay? For everyone, it's going to be different. However, they often share months and dates with me for the collective, okay? But it doesn't necessarily, for some of you, this could happen by next month. You could have already been started working on this, okay? This has already been on your mind, on the forefront, like you needed a change. So you've already mentally started working through all this. And then for some of you, this month of August, you may still be going through this rat race, and it won't be until September that you realize that something has to give, right? You're going to reach this point where you're like, okay, something has to give, changes have to be made, right? All right, my beautiful Aquarius friends, you really have a lot of incredible things coming. You have obviously some work that you're going to be doing on yourself with those around you to establish healthier and more empowered relationships around you. we're going to go ahead and draw the special spirit animal oracle card for you to close out this reading. You know, a lot of incredible energy. In the overall readings, I have to tell you that so many of you just have really been going through some difficulties. And I know that that's always the case, you know, in life. But for the collective, folks have been really going through it lately. All right. Your card is Deer, Gentleness. This is a reminder to be more gentle with yourself and others. The grace, sensitivity, gentleness of the spirit animal echo the qualities brought forth when living from the heart. They want you to be gentle with yourself. Spirit wanted me to give you that one last message. It's you. You have to be gentle with yourself, okay? My Aquarius friends, you have a wonderful rest of your month, and I will see you soon.